Yes guys, welcome back to another video on the European Football All-Time channel, and today welcome to our game week 35, I think it is. I don't know, I've lost track of the game weeks, but yeah, anyway, I think it's game 35, yeah. We're back with Premier League predictions. I think 4 games to go to the end of the season. I mean, that's crazy. 4 games left and the season's done. But yeah, anyway, smash like, subscribe, and let's get into the video. Okay, then on the first game it is Manchester City taking on Wolves. Now I think this should be quite a good game in my opinion. Wolves have actually been on a decent run of form recently. I don't think they've lost in any of their last 6 games, which is quite good. Of course, as for City, of course, through to the FA Cup final, and of course their last Premier League game they scored in the last minute against Manchester City, so I think it should be a good game, to be honest. But I mean, Wolves, you know, they'll be looking to rock City's boat a bit in the push for Champions League, and obviously City fans would have seen the Forest result last night, and they'll know that a win today City will know a win today will be really, really important, as they, will move further up the table and will obviously move closer to securing Champions League football for next season. But like I said, I don't think it'll be an easy game for City. Wolves, like I said, recently have been doing really well under Vitor Pereira. And I can't remember how they got on last game, but they have put some good wins together. And I just think overall, since Vitor Pereira's came in at Wolves, I think he's actually done a decent job. He's kind of revived them really to keep them up, because I think if they were still with Gary O'Neill, I think they probably would still. I think it'd probably be a bit tighter between them and Ipswich. But like I said, since Pereira's came in, he's done a very good job. He's done a very, very good job. So tonight it'll be tough for Wolves, but I think they're more than capable to get a result. But they've got to watch after likes of Marmoush and De Bruyne and Savinho and that, because City do have good attacking players. But in the end, tight game. I think City will just about win this game 2-1. And the next game is the lunchtime game tomorrow, as Villa take on Fulham. Of course, a big game for both teams really. Obviously, Villa kind of slipping up a bit. Obviously, they lost their last Premier League game to Man City. That was a big defeat, as of course them two teams find out of the Champions League. And of course Villa, out of the FA Cup, they got absolutely smashed by Palace. And to be honest, Villa played really, really poor in kind of both games really, against City and Palace. I thought City were the better team against Villa, and I thought Palace were the better team against them as well. And I mean, they're taking on the Fulham side, who again are fighting for Europe as well. They're fighting to get into a Conference League spot. To be honest with you. But I think this is a game that they need to win. To be honest with you, they've lost the last 2 games. The last 2 performances haven't really been good enough. To be honest with you, I mean, you look at Fulham. They're a decent side. Fulham. They've got some good players. They've got Iwobi, they've got Jimenez, they've got Traoré. Defensively, they've got good players as well. But like I said, I think it should be a good game, to be honest with you. It should be a good game. I think Villa will probably have that home advantage, with it being at Villa Park. Villa will have that home advantage with it being at Villa Park. But Fulham, I think, are more than capable to give them a game. But again, I think it'll be a tight game, just like the City game. So I'm going to go with a score prediction of 2-1 to Aston Villa. Okay, then the next game is Everton taking on Ipswich. A game which really has nothing to play for. To be honest with you, you look at a team like Ipswich. Of course, they are officially relegated. And I mean, you look at Everton, who haven't really got much to play for, really. They're gonna. Well, they are staying up, obviously, but I mean, it's kind of going to be a bit of an emotional game, you could say, for Everton. Of course, this is their second to last game at Goodison Park, and I think it's 2 weeks Sunday, which will be their last ever game at Goodison against Southampton. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, you'd probably be expecting Everton. You'd be expecting Everton to win this game, to be honest with you. Ipswich are just a bit terrible. Don't really score enough goals. And they concede too much. And they concede too much, to be honest with you. I think the last game was... it was last week against Newcastle, wasn't it? But I didn't watch that game. Apparently, Ipswich actually played alright, from what I heard. I mean, Newcastle probably didn't really deserve to go like whatever nil up it was, but yeah, in the end, Everton will win this game. Liam Delap will probably get a goal, but Everton will win 2-1. Okay, next game we have Leicester against Southampton. Of course, two teams who are relegated. Again, a game that has nothing to play for. I mean, you could say it's a bit of a preparation game for when the two play each other in the Championship next season. But I mean, it's a winnable game for both teams, really. Obviously, Leicester haven't won at home in ages. I mean, they haven't even picked up a point at home in ages, so this would be a good opportunity, really, for Leicester to finally pick up some points at home. And of course, as for Southampton, they'll just be looking to pick up some points. I think if Southampton get a point out of their remaining games, they will beat or draw level with Derby's points tally in the 07-08 season. But to be fair, I saw the highlights of the Southampton-Fulham game. I mean, they went 1-0 up, Southampton, but after that, Fulham was pretty much dominated the rest of the game. Because as for Leicester, they lost to Wolves, I think. I didn't really watch much of that. I didn't really see that game, so yeah. But in the end, I'm going to go with a draw. It's kind of a tough game to predict in general because both teams are just shit. But yeah, we'll go 1-1. And the next game is the Saturday night football, and it's an interesting game. I think it's Arsenal at home to Bournemouth, which I think could be a good game in my opinion. Obviously, Arsenal currently 1-0 down after that defeat on Tuesday against Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League. And to be fair, it was a pretty poor performance from Arsenal, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, the atmosphere was terrible, the tifo was awful, and just on the pitch, it's a bit really poor from Arsenal. If I have to be honest with you, I just thought like they were just so like, I don't even know how to describe it, to be honest. Like, they just didn't really play well at all, to be honest with you. And PSG, I mean, they definitely had some opportunities to maybe either get another goal, and then at the same time, you could say Arsenal could have maybe got a draw, but Donnarumma just turned into prime Buffon and was putting off some extraordinary saves. But you know, it just wasn't really a good performance, and you know, they really have to just go for it on next Wednesday. They just have to go for it, really. But I mean, as for Bournemouth, drew with Man United. I mean, I think they probably should have won. I thought Bournemouth was the better team throughout the game, to be honest with you. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think Bournemouth could get a result because Arsenal will probably go out with probably name a bit of a B team. Because, you know, they're going to finish second. They're going to be in the Champions League next season. And obviously, I think the full focus for them will be that next game against PSG. But overall, I think Arsenal will still get the job done anyway. Tight game, though. 2-1 Arsenal. Can't win. And now, oh my God, that's a horrible voice crack. Anyway, we move on to Sunday. We have Brentford against Manchester United. And of course, what a win for Manchester United last night as they won 3-0 away at Athletic Bilbao in the Europa League. Amazing results. I didn't watch the game because I was at Spurs, but from what I heard, United played very, very well. Obviously, you had Maguire turning into bloody Messi. Don't know what he was doing there. Good ball into the box. Flicked on by Agate, headed on by Casemiro. And of course, 2 goals for Bruno, getting them the win. Yeah, I mean, a good performance. I mean, a lot of people were writing off United, myself included. And I mean, I just thought Bilbao, you know, with their good defensive record, their good attacking players, I just thought they would hurt United. But clearly not. So fair play to them. Of course, as for Brentford, they also played last night and they won 2-0 against Nottingham Forest. I mean, that is a very, very impressive result, considering how good Forest are. Obviously, I didn't watch the game, but apparently it was 2 mistakes defensively from Forest, which led to the 2 goals, to be honest with you. But I think it should be a good game overall. Brentford at home haven't been great recently. United obviously will be feeling confident after that game last night. But again, United don't really have much to play for in the league, so they'll probably feel like a bit of a B team. But I'm going to go with a draw in the end. Good game I think this could be, but yeah, I'm going to go 2-2. And next game we have Brighton against Newcastle. Again, good game, 2 teams fighting to get into football. And I think I did see something earlier that if Newcastle win, I think they've all but... I think they're very close to like getting Champions League football. But I watched Brighton last week, 4-2 against West Ham. I thought Brighton probably deserved it, to be honest with you. I thought they played very well, Brighton. Obviously pulled it back late on to win the game, obviously, because they were like 2-1 down in like the 89th minute, and then obviously they came back and won. But yeah, I mean, as for Newcastle, I mean, they comfortably beat Ipswich. Good performance it was from them. I think Isak scored. Can't really remember the game off the top of my head. But I mean, I think, like I said, I think this will be a good game. I think Brighton, I mean, both teams kind of have to go for it because obviously both want to get into Europe. But I just think Newcastle will be probably stronger than Brighton. They've got good attacking players. Defensively, I think they're solid. And I think they've probably got one of the best midfield in the Premier League, Newcastle. I really like their midfield. But yeah, in the end, I'm going to go 3-1 Newcastle. And next up is West Ham United against Tottenham Hotspur. Of course, I'm a Spurs fan. I was at the game last night. It was probably one of the best atmospheres I've seen in a while at Spurs. It was really good. Got the job done. 3-1 win. But I tell you what, I think the goal after Bodo scored, I think that just the last 15 minutes in general was quite poor, to be honest with you. But we got the job done, and that's all that matters. West Ham, I mean, I don't know what's going on with West Ham at the minute, to be honest with you. They're just playing really, really poor. I mean, I watched them last week against Brighton. Brighton were probably the better team throughout the game, to be honest with you. But knowing West Ham, it's their cup final, so they'll probably win knowing them. And I mean, to be honest, West Ham will probably win because I think we'll probably field a bit of a B team, to be honest with you. Because, I mean, we literally we have to win that game next Thursday against Bodo, because that's just season defining. Lose that game and there's nothing to play for. Of course, win that game and go to the final and hopefully win a trophy. But yeah, in the end, I think West Ham will beat us. Like I said, we'll probably name a bit of a B team, and then yeah, West Ham will probably, Bowen will probably score, Kudus will score. So I'm going to go 2-1 West Ham. Okay then, and the next game we have Chelsea against Liverpool. Of course, Liverpool now officially crowned champions, so not really much to play for now for them in the season. But as for Chelsea, they are still fighting it out to get into the Champions League, and of course they did get a good win last night in the Conference League, 4-1 against the Garden. I mean, they kind of just battered them, let's be honest with you. But, this is a big game for Chelsea. Not many games to go, and they still got some big games left. They still have to go to Newcastle. Then they've got Forest, I think, on the final day. So, there are some big games Chelsea, so they need to be picking up points. 3 points if they can. But, I think this game will be really tough for Chelsea. Liverpool, obviously, literally just won the league. And, they are a very, very good side. They are a very, very good side. They know what they're doing. And you just look at Chelsea recently, especially in the Premier League, they just look a bit off it, really. That the fans aren't really happy with what's going on at the minute. And with Liverpool, things just looking good. So, in the end, I think Liverpool win this game 3-0. And the final game of this weekend is, I think this could be a good game. Monday Night Football, Palace versus Forest. And like I said, I think this will be a really, really good game. Obviously, Palace into the FA Cup final after, I have to say, outplaying Villa. I thought they were absolutely brilliant. Sarr was amazing. Eze was good. I thought Dean Henderson was good as well. Obviously, as for Nottingham Forest, they lost last night to Brentford. Not an ideal result for them. Again, like I said earlier, I didn't watch the game, but apparently it was 2 defensive mistakes from Forest, which led to the Brentford goals. But I mean, Forest, you know, they are kind of crumbling a bit now, aren't they? You know, they're just dropping points pretty much every. You know, I mean, Brentford at home. Yes, I know Brentford are a good side, but if you want to get Champions League, you've got to be beating Brentford and other teams like that. And I just don't really know what's happened to Forest recently. And like, I mean, they've still got. I mean, Palace with a tough game. I think they've still got to play Chelsea. They've still got some not easy games. They've still got some tough games to play, Forest. But I think with it being at Palace as well and how well Palace have been doing recently, and I think they're going to win this game, Palace. I think it'll be a tight game though. I think Palace will just sneak a 2-1 win. Anyway, thanks for watching. Smash like, subscribe. See you soon.